Today we will go over how the most prominent warships evolved across 5 main eras: the original 6, the ironclads, the dreadnoughts, World War II, and post-World War II to the present. After a brief period of American ships being susceptible to pirates in North Africa, in 1794 Congress commissioned the original 6 frigates. They were the USS United States, President, Constellation, Chesapeake, Congress, and Constitution, later nicknamed Old Ironsides, the only ships still floating today. These ships were wooden, driven by sails, and had either 36 or 44 cannons on board. In an effort to better protect ships from cannon fire, iron plates were put on the outside of ships, thus creating the ironclads. They also popularized both the rotating turret and the steam engine, doing away with the fixed cannons and sails of past ships. The first real use of ironclads was at the 1861 Battle of Hampton Roads, where the USS Monitor fought the CSS Virginia, ending in a stalemate. After the 1905 launch of the HMS Dreadnought, the US had to catch up, making several dreadnoughts of their own. Dreadnoughts differed from earlier ships in 3 main ways. They were significantly larger than previous vessels. They used steam turbines as opposed to steam engines, allowing them to move much faster, and they used uniform heavy main turrets, giving them a maximum range of almost 11 miles. From the technological advancement of the dreadnought evolved the contemporary ships like destroyers, aircraft carriers, and submarines. The first evolution from dreadnoughts was the battleship, which were essentially super dreadnoughts. As ships around the world became even larger, faster, and more heavily armed, US battleships had to follow suit. While battleships were incredibly powerful and important in World War II, given the rise of guided missiles and aircraft carriers, they no longer had any offensive advantages, resulting in the decommissioning of all US battleships. As ships of all shapes and sizes became stronger over time, there was a need for a middle-of-the-road, medium-sized ship, hence the development of the cruiser. During World War II, cruisers split into 2 main categories: light cruisers and heavy cruisers, with heavy cruisers featuring heavier armaments as well as thicker armor than their light counterparts. In recent years, with the shift from guns to missiles, cruisers have become a jack-of-all-trades ship, with anti-ship, anti-air, anti-land, and anti-sub ordnances, as well as a few helicopters. Destroyers started out as larger and faster ships designed to destroy small torpedo boats in order to protect bigger ships in the fleet, later evolving to also use torpedoes, guided missiles, and depth charges. As such, while destroyers are still generally smaller than cruisers, the fact that both ships can deal with nearly any type of threat has made the difference between cruisers and destroyers much less distinct. As armor above the waterline grew thicker, people realized ships have a weak spot under the water, resulting in underwater submarines capable of launching torpedoes. They were used extensively in World War II, mainly featuring diesel engines, a step up from the previous gas and kerosene engines. As time went on, submarines changed again, starting to feature guided missile batteries and switching to nuclear power, which allows them to stay underwater for months at a time. As other nations like England and Japan had already started working on full-blown aircraft carriers, the US had to catch up, starting with the USS Langley, converted from the collier USS Jupiter in 1920. Aircraft carriers with their large array of planes became the ships with the longest attack ranges, being able to hit targets hundreds of miles away. Aircraft carriers have evolved over time by becoming much larger to hold more aircraft, utilizing more powerful jet aircraft, and also switching to nuclear reactors as their power source. Overall, the US Navy has changed dramatically since its earlier days, going from the original 6 made to protect merchant vessels to the huge Navy today patrolling the globe. Some notable trends have been a shift to smaller ships, doing away with the large battleships and cruisers with big turrets in light of small, powerful warships with missile launch systems, except in the case of the massive aircraft carriers. As naval technology has advanced, so has the US Navy, using its innovation and ingenuity to continually raise the bar for navies around the world.